capacity of only 80 tests per day. That has been successfully increased. And if you see on the 26th of February, Sindh had a capacity of 80 tests per day, which has increased to 11,450 tests per day. On the 16th of June, we carried out 11,819 tests, which is the highest in any province in the country. Right? So if you look at this slide, Sindh has a capacity of 11,450, Punjab 9,030, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa 2,590, and Gilgit-Baltistan 1,095, Balochistan 360. Next slide, please. So this is a very important slide. This shows that the province of Sindh has undertaken 6,881 cases per million. Pakistan is at 4,068. Sir, if you look at the other countries, we have even beaten India. The province of Sindh has beaten India, which otherwise has 4,186 tests per million, but we have 6,881 tests per million. Off कर दे इसको. Off कर दे इसको. Sir, to cope with the extraordinary situation arising out of COVID-19, health sector being the frontline service provider, expeditiously initiated steps to make necessary arrangements to avoid a big human disaster. 81 isolation centers in all districts with 8,266 bed capacity were established. By June 2020, this capacity will increase to 8,616 for ensuring timely supplies and proper service delivery. Government of Sindh constituted medical procurement committees. The committee procured personal protection equipment, laboratory items and equipment and other essential machinery, equipment and instruments worth 2.43 billion, which include expenditure of rupees 1.5 billion under the Corona Emergency Fund and 891.8 million from PDMA funds. In addition, the existing ventilators, 101 more ventilators were procured on need basis for public health sector facilities with 250 monitors to ensure timely availability of life-saving services to critical patients. Sir, I would like to tell you how we've improved the health facilities since the coronavirus, the first case of coronavirus occurred. Sir, if you look at the screen above, when this virus hit us, we had only 91 ICU beds reserved. This has increased to 396 ventilator beds as of today, and this we will inshallah increase to 606 by the end of July. In terms of HDU beds, we had only 79 HDU beds. These have increased to 764 HDU beds as of today, and we will inshallah increase them to 1,379 beds by July of 2020. Sir, next slide. Sir, Karachi, we have the largest number of cases. We took special care of Karachi. When we started off, we had only 63 beds on the 1st of April for ICU in Karachi. This has been increased to 306, and inshallah ta'ala, by July, end of July, we'll increase this to 516. In terms of the HDU beds, we have 635 HDU beds as of right now, which is an increase from 62 from the 1st of April, and this will inshallah increase to 1,275 by the end of July 2020. Next slide. So this is a very important slide. Why are we worried? Why are we worried that the federal government, the federal rulers, are leading this country from the 1st of April? slide above. Pakistan's infectivity rate is at 21%. There's only Mexico in the entire world which is higher than Pakistan. Our next door neighbor India is at 8% infectivity. Infectivity means the number of positive cases divided by the total number of tests. So the countries which are now opening up, Italy, UK, the United States, if you see they have an infectivity rate of 1%, 2% and 4%. It is very clear that the federal government is not taking the lives of the people of Pakistan seriously. Through the floor of this house, through you, Mr. Speaker, I urge the federal government to take the coronavirus seriously. People's lives are in danger. They are playing with the lives of the people in the garb of looking after daily wages. In fact, they are looking after the industrialist of this country, the capitalist of this country, and the Pakistan People's Party through its chairman Bilawal Bhutto Zardari will never allow this. Next slide. So this gives you at the moment, why are we worried? Though we have got 396 beds with vents, at the moment we have only 100 beds available on vent. As far as the HDU is concerned, we've got 764 HDU beds, and right now we've got 427 available. But looking at the infection rate, looking at the deaths, today as we speak, we had the highest number of deaths in Pakistan. 136 people lost their lives because of corona. And if the opposition thinks that this is a lie, then they need to get themselves examined, because yes, 136 people died today on corona. That is a fact. That is what the NCOC says, what is the federal government says. So we've taken a number of steps in terms of this. Before I go any forward, I need to appreciate the efforts of the healthcare professionals, including doctors, nurses, paramedics and technicians who provided care to COVID-19 patients by placing their lives at stake. They were our first line of defense. Our healthcare professionals proved that they are defenders of health of the nation. We must also acknowledge the services provided by our law enforcement agencies, the police, the rangers and the armed forces, who put their health and their life at risk to enforce government policies. Acknowledgement is also due to our revenue officials and other government officers and officials. The press and media should also be mentioned for keeping the people informed in these difficult times. I would also like to acknowledge the assistance provided by the World Health Organization, UNICEF, the Aga Khan University, the Sindh Institute of Urology and Transplant, and the Intas Hospital. Sir, I would especially like to thank Dr. Adil Ahmed Rizvi. I went and visited him yesterday for the work that he's putting in. Dr. Abdul Bari Khan of Indus Hospital and Dr. Faisal Mahmood of IKU for their guidance. Sir, I would request, at least my side, they're already on their feet. I'll request my side of the house to please stand up to give a standing ovation to the health professionals, to the loud visit to them yesterday for the work that he's putting in. Dr. Abdul Bari Khan of Indus Hospital. And I hope that the government will realize they need to protect these health professionals, and instead they are protecting the capitalists, the industrialists. So I would like to talk about the federal government a little too. I would like to appreciate the cooperation received from the federal government in connection with the threat of COVID-19. Although we have not received as much assistance as the people of Sindh deserve, we are grateful for whatever was given. We are grateful, Mr. Speaker, because we realize and appreciate that COVID is not a challenge anyone can tackle alone. While individual isolation is treatment of COVID, administrative isolation is not. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, it seems like the federal government has not grasped the concept of efficacy of teamwork. At a time when our frontline workers in our hospitals needed the most support, they have instead made a bid to take over the running of 3 of our major hospitals. I condemn at this point in time the federal government to take over hospitals which the provincial government has upgraded to such an extent that the entire world acknowledges the work done on these hospitals, and I assure you, sir, we will do our best to serve the people of this province and to make sure that these hospitals under the government of Sindh continue to provide the service that we have been doing. So the hospitals they are trying to illegally take control of have been hailed as a success story. The federal government should know that we will not sit idly as they attempt to bring our hospitals down to the level of the ones that they operate. We had hoped that personal petty agendas would have been ignored at the time of COVID, but sir, we have been disappointed. So before I move on, I'd like to touch upon the other major issue, the other major problem that is now confronting our country, and this is the locust. Sir, agriculture, we are an agrarian economy. Agriculture plays a pivotal role in the country's economy. It contributes 24% to GDP. Since contribution to national production is 36%, in rice 29% in sugarcane, 34% in cotton, and 15% in wheat. We are determined to increase agriculture output to make farmers and the provinces prosperous. Unfortunately, we are facing the imminent threat of food insecurity as a direct result of locusts, which not only threaten our crops, but also put our economy at stake. Our farmer-friendly government of Sindh is making untiring efforts to address this. So the locusts had attacked initially last year, and in the month of May and June, when they came to the Nara desert area, I had gone there personally to oversee the problem. The control of locusts is a federal subject. The Plant Protection Department of the federal government has to take care of it. And sir, I would like to just give you a little example which the then Agriculture Minister Nawab Yusuf Talpur had told me. In 90s, when the locusts had attacked the country, the then Agriculture Minister Nawab Yusuf Talpur had called the then Prime Minister Shahid Mohtarma Benazir Bhutto late at night and said that we are facing this problem and we need aircraft. The Prime Minister asked him to come with a summary at 8 a.m. to the Prime Minister's office. The then Agriculture Minister went there, Shahid Mohtarma Benazir Bhutto approved the summary, and within a week, 8 aircraft were rented and they were deployed in Pakistan and they took care of locusts. Unfortunately, this federal government has not taken those serious steps, and a lot needs to be done as far as the locust is concerned. Sir, I will just tell you what the government of Sindh is doing, and if I can see the slide. Sir, we have made Talca level teams. At this point in time, we've got 98 teams working in Sindh. Unfortunately, the federal government has only deployed 6 teams in the desert area. The aircraft is not working. On the 6th of March, we were promised that an aircraft will be given. The 6 aircraft we had demanded, and we were told we will be given. But we are sitting here on the 17th of June, and not a single aircraft has been provided for the locust control in the deserts of Sindh. Sir, we successfully countered locusts last year. Even this year, till now, we've been successful. Yes, there have been damages, but our teams are active. If you see the next slide, you can see that a total of 978 complaints were received, 950 complaints have been addressed, and there are 28 complaints in process. And you can see that in each district of the province, the Agriculture Department is active. We are being helped by the Pak Army, we are being helped by NDMA in this case, but a lot more needs to be done by the federal government. So before I go to the budget details, I would like to touch upon Another thing, this time has created a crisis by the federal government, something that the federal government has created another crisis. Sir, our government has been serving the people of Sindh for the past 12 years. People of the province repose their confidence in us because we believe in democracy, justice and fair play. We have been making sacrifices and investing all our energies in prompting welfare of the people. The founder of Pakistan People's Party, Shaheed Zulfikar Ali Bhutto and Shaheed Mohtarma Benazir Bhutto sacrificed their life for the sake of democracy and for the rights of the people of this country. Our present leadership is also following their steps and adhering to the potential vision of the great leaders. While our country is facing grave challenge of COVID-19 and the locust attack, some attempts are being made to raise an issue for revisiting the contents of the 18th Constitutional Amendment passed in 2010. Not only the 18th Amendment is being discussed, shared distribution formula of NFC award is also being questioned. I would reiterate our commitment to stand for the autonomy given to provinces by the 18th Amendment. Since the creation of our beloved country on 14th August 1947, 18th Amendment was an important step in devolving powers from the federal government to the provincial government. Credit of this amendment goes to the leadership of our country. President Asif Ali Zardari led the front and bequeathed the gift of the 18th Amendment to this country. I will miss no words in saying that it is only due to the devolved powers under the 18th Amendment that spearheaded the country in making preventative safety measures in wake of COVID-19. The amendment equipped the provinces to design workable strategies and take practical measures to address the global emergency. In the absence of the devolved powers, the province would have looked to the federal government for instructions, guidance, resources, and possibility of a prompt action would have been little to none. This would have resulted in colossal damage. But with the 18th Amendment to support us, our situation remained under control. The federal government later on joined hands with the provinces in a rearguard action, and we now hope to see the silver lining of the COVID dark cloud soon. But this will only happen if the federal government follows the policy which was adopted by the countries which took care of the lives of the people and did not go after the capitalist approach. There's a talk of reversal of 18th Amendment or a change in the amendment in any form may reduce the powers of the province, which may consequently weaken the federation itself. Eventually, trust deficit may develop between the federation and the federating units. If, God forbid, this happens, it will increase the suffering of the people and the provincial governments may not be in a position to respond in timely manner to mitigate distress or disappointment. So the leadership of a party considers the 18th Amendment as the only panacea for the development in the country. PPP Chairman Bilawal Bhutto Zardari said in his address at the Lahore University of Management Sciences earlier this year, and I quote him, "In 2010 we achieved consensus and all democratic parties played a role in the passage of the 18th Amendment. It is the only way forward to ensure rights of the smaller provinces, and we will follow the guidance and the directions of our Chairman Bilawal Bhutto Zardari." Sir, I will now present the revised estimates for 2019-20 and the budget estimates for 2020-21. The provincial budget of Sindh, like other provinces, depends mainly upon federal transfers, and it constitutes 70% of the provincial budget. The government of Sindh set its development and non-development programs and targets based on the commitment made by the federal government. Any shortfall in this regard seriously impacts the performance of the provincial government. I would like you to put on the slide now. Sir, if you look at this, the federal government had wanted to collect 5.5 trillion in 2019-20. The FBR estimates have been revised back to 3.9 trillion. What this has done is that instead of 761 billion, the share that we are promised now is 535 billion. More than 2 230 billion, almost 230 billion have been reduced from the Sindh share because of the inefficiency of FBR, and they would want to blame this on Corona. सर ये कोरोना की वजह से नहीं हुआ. अगर आप जुलाई से लेके और मार्च तक देख ले तो जुलाई से लेके मार्च तक इनकी डिसमिल परफॉर्मेंस थी, और अगर वही परफॉर्मेंस जारी भी रहती तो 300 या 400 बिलियन और इकट्ठा कर लेते. तो ये 4.2 4.3 बिलियन से ऊपर नहीं जाते, और अब ये अपनी सारी नाकामियां कोरोना के नाते डाल रहे हैं. इनकी नाकामियां की वजह से सूबों ने सफर किया है, और इनकी नाकामियों की वजह से सूबे नहीं कर सक रहे. सर अगर आप देख लें अगले साल के लिए the federal government has estimated 4.9 trillion rupees for collection. Sir, I don't think this is a target that they can achieve. In fact, the federal finance advisor in his post-budget press conference has already casted some doubt in them. Based on this, we have been promised 680 billion rupees next year. Sir, I'll tell you why I think that these numbers are not achievable. So if you look at this slide, you will get an idea. So in 2017-18, the GDP growth was at 5.8%. The revised and the actual was 5.2%. So last year, the first year of the PTI government, the GDP growth was estimated at 6.2%. Exactly a year ago, the federal government presented the economic survey for 2018-19, and they said the growth would be 3.3%. Instead, the growth was only 1.9%. This was the dismal performance of the first year of the PTI government, when there was no corona threat, there was no emergency in the country, there were no floods which the People's Party government had countered, and despite a very good normal year, they failed miserably to achieve the growth target. In the current year, they had set the growth targets at 4%. They, about 2 weeks ago, presented in the NEC कि growth हमारी -0.4% होगी. लेकिन मैंने उस मीटिंग में उन्हें कहा कि जी वर्ल्ड बैंक -2.6% पिच कर रही है आपकी ग्रोथ इस करंट हाल में. आप ये गलत नंबर क्यों दे रहे हैं जो बाद में आपको दुरुस्त करने दें? लेकिन सिर्फ अपनी अच्छा चेहरा दिखाने के लिए, जो कि नहीं है, उन्होंने ये गलत नंबर्स दिए हैं. अगले साल के लिए भी they are projecting 2.1%. I find it very difficult that they will be able to grow the economy at 2.1%. And in fact, the World Bank has predicted that the next year, 2020-21, the economy will grow at negative 0.2%. But unfortunately, we have to rely on the figures of the federal government. We do not and cannot do our own calculations, and that's why we have to just adopt these numbers while knowing that these numbers are inherently incorrect. So the total provincial receipts, total provincial receipts of the finance in 1920 were fixed at rupees 288.7 billion. The COVID-19 situation deeply affected the provincial receipts. The actual is expected to be about 210 billion, which is only 8% higher than last year's collection of 194.9 billion. Sir, now I go to the budget estimates for 2021, if I can have the slide. Sir, next year, our budget has pitched at rupees 1,241 billion, 1,241,125,668,700 rupees. I'll give you the breakdown of this. Next slide, please. So, from this, our current revenue expenditure is expected to 991,389,600. Our current capital expenditure is pitched at 39,191,023,100, and our development expenditure is pitched at rupees 232,943,256,000 rupees. Sir, I can go to the next slide, please. Sir, I told you what this is. Our total receipts are going to be 1,098,000,000, which includes 760 billion, which I believe, which is minus 9% of last year estimate. But I feel that this number will not be achieved, and that is why I'll tell you, when we formulated the budget, we've taken care of these failures, inherent failures of the federal government of not collecting the fund. The total revenues for next year, as I told you, 760 billion, federal receipts, provincial tax receipts of 263 billion, non-tax receipts of 49.871 billion. And sir, I would like to mention here, in the non-tax receipts, we have included rupees 25 billion which have been deposited in the Supreme Court for the land which was taken by the government of Sindh, and this money has been deposited by the company which had got the land, and we are in the Supreme Court, inshallah ta'ala, as the Supreme Court had earlier said, this money belongs to the people of Sindh, and we've accounted that, and rupees 25 billion is included that. Current revenue receipt for next year are estimated at rupees 25 billion. Next one. सर, ये मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूँ कि 413 अरब रुपए हमारी एम्प्लॉय रिलेटेड एक्सपेंस है। हमारा जो एम्प्लॉय रिलेटेड एक्सपेंस है, इस साल मुश्किल में होने के बावजूद आज काबीना ने फैसला किया है, पूरे पाकिस्तान में हमें अपने लोगों का ख्याल पहले रखना चाहिए। हम क्या सिग्नल्स देंगे अगर हम इन्फ्लेटेड एडजस्टेड तनख्वाहें नहीं बढ़ाएंगे? हम प्राइवेट सेक्टर को भी ये मैसेज देंगे कि आप तनख्वाहें ना बढ़ाएं। इस वक्त हमने कानून पास किया है कि आप किसी को निकाल नहीं सकते, और इस वजह से मैं ये ऐवान को बताना चाहता हूँ कि काबीना की मंजूरी के बाद ग्रेड 1 से 16 तक के मुलाजिमीन की तनख्वाह 10% बढ़ाई गई है, और ग्रेड 17 से 22 की 5% बढ़ाई गई है। और ये जरूरी है, जैसे मैंने कहा, कि हम सिग्नल्स देते हैं प्राइवेट सेक्टर को। अगर हम तनख्वाहें नहीं बढ़ाते तो हम प्राइवेट सेक्टर से कैसे एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं? और मैं चाहता था कि वफाकी हुकूमत भी ये करे और अपने लोगों का ख्याल रखे। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। सर, डेवलपमेंट के लिए हमने प्रोविंशियल बजट में 170 अरब रुपए रखे, और आगे जाके मैं इसकी मजीद डिटेल आपको बताऊंगा। सर, कीपिंग इन व्यू above non-development and development priorities and major milestones or objectives as under. So we are going to exercise maximum austerity measures in our non-development expenditure. So we will provide maximum to the health sector. So we will enlarge substantially our social protection net through increased cash transfers to poverty-inflicted people. और सर, इसकी कुछ मैं आपको डिटेल्स बताऊंगा। Sir, we will provide ways and means for employment generation as well as sustaining economic activity of the poorest of the poor in rural as well as urban areas. And we have a scheme for that, sir. उसके लिए भी मैं आपको बताऊंगा। Sir, हम तालीम पे अपना फोकस कंटिन्यू करेंगे। बाकी एरियाज में because of the COVID situation we have reduced budget, but health और एजुकेशन में हमने अपना बजट कम नहीं किया बल्कि बढ़ाया है। Sir, the outbreak of COVID-19 has nearly halted world economy. Pakistan is affected too. The COVID-19 crisis has three sources of socio-economic impact on the population: morbidity and mortality, containment measures such as general lockdown, work travel restrictions, and SOPs easing as well as restriction of lockdown in response to disease spread, local and targeted lockdown. Reduced global demand. So these are the problems that the population is facing. While the socio-economic impact of the crisis will be felt across the board, it is clear that particular segments of the population will be highly vulnerable to extreme distress and food insecurity. Families facing morbidity and mortality, low-income families under quarantine, self-isolation, local lockdown, daily wage earners, casual self-employed during future phases of general lockdown, laid off workers due to slowdown in global demand. In order to assess the and manage potential post-COVID-19 crisis. Finance Department had a short study conducted to analyze severity of economic challenges to prepare a strategic plan for providing fiscal stimuli, economic resuscitation and social protection. Current situation has affected every sector which contributes to economic growth. Agriculture sector contributes a significant portion to our economy. It is affected badly. In post-COVID-19 scenario, unemployment is on the rise, the businesses are at standstill, and small and medium enterprises need assistance for revival. For ensuring food security and reduced inflation and employment, a strategy to encourage community-driven economic activities, focusing on supporting home-based business, small and medium enterprises, a social protection and economic sustainability package of rupees 34.2 billion is proposed for the next financial year 2020. If I can get the slide. Sir, we are allocating rupees 20 billion for cash transfers for individuals affected by COVID. 20 अरब रुपए मख्तस किए जा रहे हैं कैश ट्रांसफर्स के लिए उन लोगों को जो कोविड से अफेक्टेड होंगे. ये एक स्लाइड आ गई. Sir, rupees 5 billion is allocated towards soft loan program for small medium enterprise. Loan size will range from rupees 500,000 to a maximum of rupees 2 billion. Rupees 1 billion subsidy will be provided for purchase of quality rice seeds to the farmers with land holding of less than 25 acres. Rupees 11 billion is allocated on account of wheat subsidy for the year 2020-21. The amount has been enhanced from rupees 5 billion allocated in the current financial year. Sir, 1 billion will be provided on account of fertilizer subsidy to the farmers with land holding of below 25 acres. 1 अरब रुपए सब्सिडी हम पेस्टिसाइड्स के कंट्रोल के लिए देंगे जो कि 25 एकड़ से कम लोग हैं फार्मर्स हैं उनको ये सब्सिडी दी जाएगी. साइंस स्मॉल बिजनेस सपोर्ट फंड में 3 अरब रुपया रखा है. ही जो सिंध जा शहरी इलाका आहिनि उन्हनि खे सोशल प्रोटेक्शन स्ट्रेटेजिस यूनिट जे थ्रू सोशल वेलफेयर डिपार्टमेंट ईंदी. इन में जेकी लोन जी साइज़ हूंदी उहा वधि में वधि 2 लाख रुपया हूंदी. ही स्मॉल अर्बन जेके यूनिट्स आहिनि उन्हनि खे सपोर्ट जे लाइ स्मॉल बिजनेस सपोर्ट फंड आहे. 2 अरब रुपया असां रखूं पिया अंडर पॉवर्टी एलिविएशन प्रोग्राम. इहे नंढे फार्मर्स जे लाइ आहिनि जेके ॿाहिराड़ियुनि में आहिनि. हिन में लोन साइज़ 25,000 रुपया हूंदी ऐं इहा पॉवर्टी रिडक्शन स्कोर कार्ड जेको असां वटि SRSO NRSP थर्दी वग़ैरह कनि पिया सोशल वेलफेयर डिपार्टमेंट जे थ्रू इहा ॾिनी वेंदी. सर, रुपीज़ 500 million is kept for supporting technology-based startups, incubators and accelerators through investment department. Rupees 700 million is kept for support of IT intervention and innovations, solutions and goods and accelerators through investment department in consultation with IT department. Rupees 500 million is proposed for livestock breeding. The insert department will be livestock and fisheries department. सर, मैं हेल्थ पे आता हूँ. Health continues to remain the third largest sector with an allocation for current revenue expenditure of rupees 120 billion and development including foreign aid at 15.5 billion rupees. Sir, in next financial year, the total current revenue expenditure budgeted is rupees 139.1 billion, while allocation for development schemes in the health sector have been increased from 13.5 billion to 23.5 billion. And I'll talk about some of the initiatives of the health department. Next slide, please. Sir, हमने कोरोना इमरजेंसी फंड कायम किया है और इसमें 3 अरब रुपए इसकी डिटेल्स मैं आपको दे चुका हूँ. 81 आइसोलेशन सेंटर्स शुरू में ये डिटेल भी मैंने आपको दी. सर, 4.12 बिलियन हमने रिलीज किए हैं डेजिग्नेटेड हेल्थ फैसिलिटीज को फॉर कोविड-19 बोथ इन द पब्लिक एंड द प्राइवेट सेक्टर. और हमने 1.080 बिलियन DCs को प्रोवाइड किया था फॉर राशन टू डेली वेज अर्नर्स. कोरोना टेस्टिंग के बारे में आपको बता चुका हूँ कि हम 80 से बढ़ा के इसको 11,450 पे ले गए। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड सर। हम नीपा पे पाकिस्तान का पहला इन्फेक्शियस डिजीज हॉस्पिटल बनाने जा रहे हैं और इंशाल्लाह ताला जुलाई के महीने में यह हॉस्पिटल ऑपरेशनल हो जाएगा। ये पाकिस्तान का पहला इन्फेक्शियस डिजीज हॉस्पिटल होगा। लेकिन सर हम सिर्फ कराची तक नहीं, असां सिंध जे हर डिविजनल हेडक्वार्टर में हिकिड़ो इन्फेक्शियस डिजीज हॉस्पिटल था क़ाइमु कयूं ऐं नई स्कीम्स में ये 6 डिवीजन में असां रखियल आहिनि इहे पैसा त जीअं इहे असां इन्फेक्शियस डिजीज हॉस्पिटल ठाहे सघूं। साईं 1 बिलियन असां रखियो आहे जंहिंमें ॿुधायो हेल्थ केयर प्रोफेशनल्स जे लाइ। 5.6 billion have been allocated to Sindh Institute of Urology and Transplant, 1.75 billion to Shahid Mohtama Benazir Bhutto Trauma Center Karachi, PPHI को 6.53 billion, लेडी हेल्थ वर्कर्स प्रोग्राम के लिए 1.21 बिलियन, 150 मिलियन हमने वेरियस डायलिसिस फैसिलिटीज को ग्रांट देने के लिए रखे और 1.9 बिलियन हमने हेपेटाइटिस कंट्रोल प्रोग्राम में फॉर प्रिवेंशन एंड कंट्रोल ऑफ हेपेटाइटिस रखे हैं। सब ब्लड कैंसर की मेडिसिन के लिए हमने 431.13 मिलियन रखे हैं। 183.6 million have been allocated for purchase of hepatitis B vaccines, the birth dose। 1 अरब रुपया हमने रखा है फॉर वेलफेयर ऑफ HIV एड्स पेशेंट्स इन सिंध और लास्ट ईयर मैंने अपनी बजट स्पीच में बताया था, ये कंटिन्यू कर रहा है। सर हम 39 तालका हॉस्पिटल्स की जो अपग्रेडेशन और रिवैम्पिंग हो रही है और जो कंस्ट्रक्शन इमरजेंसी ट्रॉमा सेंटर्स 41 कर रहे हैं उसके लिए हमने 1.295 बिलियन रखे ताकि ये कंप्लीट हो जाए। तालका हेडक्वार्टर और डिस्ट्रिक्ट हेडक्वार्टर मटियारी कंब और उमरकोट इंशाल्लाह ताला तैयार हो जाएंगे। 25 बेड ट्रॉमा सेंटर गवर्नमेंट लियारी हॉस्पिटल कराची में आ जाएगा। 250 मिलियन हमने थर फाउंडेशन को दे रहे हैं ताकि इस्लाम कोर्ट में हमारी ये कंट्रीब्यूशन है उसकी तरफ कि इस्लाम कोर्ट में थर फाउंडेशन जो कि मेजॉरिटी ऑन सिंध गवर्नमेंट की है वो अस्पताल बना सके। अगली स्लाइड में sir, I will now go to education. Education is our priority. This is the only other sector where we have not reduced the allocation. Sir, allocation has been increased to 244.5 billion. 212 बिलियन इस साल थी वो बढ़ा के 244.5 अरब कर दी है। डिस्पाइट रिसोर्स कंस्ट्रेंट हमने एजुकेशन में अपनी पूरी बजट का 25.2% रखा है। इससे पता चलता है कि हम एजुकेशन को कितनी प्रायोरिटी देते हैं और एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर को एडिक्वेटली इक्विप किया गया है कि वो एजुकेशन फैसिलिटीज़ को बेहतर कर सके। सर 2020-21 की एडीपी में एजुकेशन सेक्टर हैज बीन एलोकेटेड 21.1 बिलियन फॉर 397 and ongoing 11 new but unapproved schemes. An allocation of 3.5 billion is provided under foreign aided projects in addition to the provincial government's budget resource allocation. Next slide, please. Sir, मैं अब आऊँगा एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर की तरफ। मैंने एग्रीकल्चर में शुरू में बात कर ली थी। मैं कुछ एग्रीकल्चर के बारे में भी आपको बता दूं। सर एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर ये मैंने तो बता दिया, मेरा ख्याल है इसको रिपीट नहीं करता, इसलिए कि जब मैंने शुरू में बात की थी तो लोकस जो हमें अफेक्ट कर रहा है उसके बारे में डिटेल बता दी थी। So I'll just tell you the important targets. I'll tell you the important targets achieved in the agriculture sector in the current financial year 2019-20, including developed registered varieties of onion, ladyfinger, rice and mango crops, production of 9,000 plantlets through tissue culture technology and laboratory, and provided to growers on subsidized rate, produced quality seed of crop for further multiplication, analysis of 23,949 and 7,091 samples of soil and water for the fertility and suitability status and establishment of 22 agro-mag technology services centers. Sir, अगले माली साल के लिए हमारे क्या टारगेट्स हैं एग्रीकल्चर में? I'll just tell you. So next financial year 2021 targets have also been set to be achieved. Some to be highlighted include acclimatization and adaptation of tropical fruit biofortification technology project to combat zinc deficiency in wheat, rice crop, establishment of Sindh Institute of Biotechnology and Genetic Engineering, establishment of soil microbiopsy and micronutrient research laboratory at Orchard Nutrient Management Research Institute, Mirpur Khas, and to launch campaign Grow More Cotton. To launch skill development and management programs for orchards and vegetables farm workers, to establish cold chain management, system to reduce post-profit losses for perennial horticulture projects. So it is also planned to establish new fruit and vegetable markets in different districts of Sindh through public-private partnership. Sir, I will just briefly tell you about the works and services and the road sector. The government of Sindh aims to develop safe, swift and reliable transportation infrastructure in Sindh. To boost this sector, an allocation of rupees 6.54 billion is allocated against 17 major schemes. The government is committed for the revival of Karachi Circular Railway crossing costing 207 billion rupees for the redressing the transport issues of Karachi. The government of Sindh has allocated 3 billion rupees for construction of underpasses and overbridges over railway crossings along KCR route. Sir, in the road sector, in terms of fiscal resources, rupees 36.5 billion is proposed as an allocation in ADP 2021 for over 500 schemes. The portfolio includes road-related schemes of Works and Services Department and Local Government Department. Besides provincial development budget resources, an allocation of 165 million is provided under foreign project assistance. So the department has also achieved other targets in the current financial year. 98 schemes will be completed by June 2020 and around 150 ongoing schemes during next financial year are targeted. Sir, irrigation sector will be allocated a development budget of rupees 20.1 billion in ADP 2020-21 for 198 ongoing schemes and 18 new unapproved schemes. The portfolio includes irrigation-related schemes of irrigation department, lining of main canals, matching allocation schemes, and the Tharpole infrastructure projects. Besides the provincial development budget resources, an allocation of rupees 6.95 billion is provided under foreign projects assistance. Currently, 106 schemes are in progress and target to be completed by June 2020. Among them, 15 schemes pertain to lining of channels, smooth supply of irrigation water to tailenders, and improve the irrigation and drainage system in the province. 33 schemes of lining of canals will line 632 miles of canals funded by Asian Development Bank. So in the irrigation sector, main focus was on canal improvement and drainage works aimed at improving operational efficiency of irrigation water and delivering equitable, assured share of water at the tail. Others include Shahid Benazir Bhutto, Sweet Water Project for Thar, Umarkot to Kitari, Makhi First Link Project Scheme, supply of water to coal, installation of solar tubes in Sindh, lining of 1,396 miles of distributary from provincial resources, construct of 64 small dams, recharge dams and relaxing dams under ADP and PSDP, and 15 small gabion structures across various Naz and Nagar Pakar and Koistan area. Stored waters from hill torrents of Karunjhar and Tirthar hills will irrigate 179,244 acres in drought-affected areas of Karparkar and provide water for people and livestock. On the completion of small storage dams in the drought-affected areas, Nagarpakar water will be available for people, livestock and agriculture for 14,900 acres. Sir, I'll talk a little about local government. We believe in democracy and democratic norms. We believe in strong political and democratic institutions. Our government brought local government system of the dictator under Sindh Local Government Ordinance 2001 to an end and enacted the Sindh Local Government Act 2013 passed by the Provincial Assembly of Sindh. Our government works closely with local governments to solve the problems of people of the province at their doorsteps. The government of Sindh, in order to strengthen the working and to cater to need of all local councils from time to time and enhance the share of local councils, the grant of local bodies of Sindh allocated for the year 2019-20 is rupees 74.5 billion and rupees 67.5 billion has been released to all local councils by 30th May 2020. So the government of Sindh has enhanced block allocation for grants to local bodies in Sindh from 74.5 billion in the current financial year to rupees 78 billion in the next financial year. So government of Sindh is sharing the financial burden of KMC. The funds are released on monthly basis on account of regular OZT share, regular pension amount and regular grant and aid amounting to rupees 160 million, rupees 430 million and rupees 215.4 million respectively. The total amount is rupees 805.5 million. The total amount stood at 10 billion. The figure included rupees 293.2 million one-time special grant. The regular grant and aid amounting to rupees 204 million is being released to KDA on a monthly basis to meet our salary, pension and other non-development expenditure. Fund released to KDA during current year 2019-20 are rupees 2.4 billion. Rupees 470 billion on account of regular grant and aid and one-time special grant and aid respectively. Government of Sindh is also paying monthly electricity bills, electricity charges of KWSB since 2016. Approximately rupees 6 billion are the expenditures on this account in 2019-20. Sir, in the local government department, 34.7 billion were allocated for 315 schemes and 93 new schemes in the current year. The schemes include Karachi Water Sewerage Project, the Greater Karachi Water Supply Project. Total expenditure incurred in these schemes till 15th May 2020 was rupees 11.4 billion. Main emphasis was given to complete ongoing schemes which had reached an advanced stage. The matter of K4 is being pursued with the federal government, and just today the cabinet has approved the recommendations of the technical and the steering committee on K4 so that this project can go on. Sir, the government of Sindh is taking lead in strengthening of the social welfare department and its allied departments to mitigate suffering of poor prevailing circumstances due to COVID-19. Therefore, budget allocation to social welfare has been enhanced from rupees 1.8 billion to rupees 27.1 billion. In the next financial year, with an overall increase of 1,360%. As mentioned earlier, rupees 20 billion has been allocated for cash transfers through Sindh People Support Program for people affected by COVID. Sir, in the Women Development Department, according to the population census of Pakistan, total population of Sindh is 47.886 million, out of which 22.956 million consist of women, which is 47% of the total population. Women are playing momentous and pivotal role in every walk of life. I just hope that we had Shaheed Mohtarma Benazir Bhutto leading us in these tough times so that she could take decisions like other women leaders in the world, like the Prime Minister of New Zealand took, and she took the country out of the COVID situation. Unfortunately, the males, including myself, have not been able to even fit in the shoes of our great beloved leader, Shaheed Mohtarma Benazir Bhutto. So the government of Sindh is especially focusing on welfare and development of women. We have launched various initiatives of providing women equal social, economic, political and legal rights. The government of Sindh is taking lead in strengthening women development department in prevailing circumstances created due to COVID-19. Thus, increase of around rupees 5 million in operating expenses, increase of 2 million in law charges of Directorate of Women Development, Shaheed Benazir, and institution of honorarium of rupees 3 million for the members of Sindh Commission on Status of Women is proposed for the next year. Sir, minorities are an integral part of the population of Pakistan, including the province of Sindh. They have the freedom to live life in accordance with their respective religions and customs. The government of Sindh has been taking steps time to time for welfare and prosperity of the minorities so that they may play their role in the development and progress of the province of Sindh. Rupees 855.6 million was allocated for financial year 2019-20. For the next financial year, rupees 1.5 billion is kept in the budget. Sir, before I end, I'll just talk about our public-private partnership initiative. Sir, as this House, the people of this province know, we have a very good public-private partnership program which is ranked at number 6 in Asia. The province of Sindh is number 6 and is considered as a sovereign unit as far as public-private partnership is concerned. So that is why, because of the shortage of funds, we are focusing on the public-private partnership initiative. And I'll just quickly list a few projects that we are doing. We are doing the Malid Expressway project under public-private partnership, the Ghodki-Kandkot Bridge under public-private partnership, education management organizations are being, we're working with the education management organization for public-private partnership. We've got 61 outsourced health facilities under public-private partnership. Sir, what we propose to do is do the wastewater treatment plant TP1 under public-private partnership, the urban road project Karachi, the Dhabiji Special Economic Zone, Marble City project in Karachi, Technology Park at NED University, non-formal education under public-private partnership. So both in terms of infrastructure, both in terms of brick and mortar and services, we are leading the entire country in public-private partnership. Sir, one thing that I've forgotten I should mention, when I talked about salaries, the pensions will also increase in the same proportion which I mentioned. So the pension for the retired employees will also increase in the 10% from grade 1 to 16 and 5% from 7 to 22, as I mentioned, for the currently working employees. Mr. Speaker, sir, we fought against COVID-19 pandemic with vigor and spirit. Our response was appropriate and timely. Our province was the first that took timely measures to keep the people of province of Sindh safe. The people strengthened our hands and supported our efforts. I've heard politicians, senior politicians, government people blaming the people for the failure. Sir, it is the failure of the governments, not of the people. The people of this province, the people of Pakistan are very, very knowledgeable. They know what is wrong for them. But if you give them mixed signals, अगर आप ये कहेंगे कि ये सिर्फ फ्लू है, अगर आप कहेंगे आपको बुखार हो जाए, आप टेस्ट कराने ना जाएं, अगर आपकी टेलीफोन मैसेजेस ये कहेंगे कि जी ये जानलेवा नहीं है, तो लोग कैसे ख्याल करेंगे? ये सारी जहालत उस लेवल पे थी और अब लोगों को ब्लेम कर रहे हैं। मैं अपने मुल्क के लोगों को ब्लेम नहीं करता। हमारे मुल्क के लोगों ने हमारे साथ कोऑपरेट किया, हमारे सूबे के लोगों ने हमारे साथ कोऑपरेट किया। हमसे कोऑपरेट अगर नहीं किया, अगर रखने अटकाए और लोगों की जिंदगियों से खेले, तो वो आपको पता है कौन थे? वो लोग थे जो कहते थे ये फ्लू है, जो कहते थे लॉकडाउन एक फैशन है, पूरी दुनिया कर रही है, और आखिर तक ये कहते रहे क्या हुआ भाई, न्यूजीलैंड ने कोविड को डिफीट किया, 92 में हमने न्यूजीलैंड को वर्ल्ड कप में हरा दिया था, हम इसी पे आज तक खुश हैं। ये जो फरंगी खेल पे ये लोग खेलते रहे, उसकी भी बात कर लें। Sir, we have tried to allocate our resources for the next financial year 2020-21 prudently amid fight against COVID-19 in the next financial year. The pandemic may have had an impact on our objectives and targets, but will surely not dampen our spirits. We need help, guidance of this august house, political parties, private sector, and the people at large for this fight against COVID, for this struggle against COVID. Sir, we also invite the government of Pakistan to come and work together with the federating units because a strong federation is in the interest of democracy, political institutions, socio-economic development, economic prosperity and welfare of the people of the country. Our Shaheed leader and Muslim world's first female Prime Minister, Mohtarma Benazir Bhutto said, and I quote, Pakistan's future viability, stability and security lie in the empowering of its people and building political institutions. My goal is to prove that the fundamental battle for the hearts and minds of a generation can be accomplished only under democracy. We are the followers of our great leader, Shaheed Mohtarma Benazir Bhutto. We will fight to the last for democracy, for provincial autonomy, for safeguard of the people of our province, and inshallah ta'ala, the Pakistan People's Party government will not fail the people of Sindh. So we will have to develop a consensus and make a joint strategy to address the problem in national interest. The Constitution of our country provides various constitutional forums and procedures for solution of problems in a constitutional way. I urge through this House the Honourable Prime Minister to immediately hold the meeting of the Council of Common Interest so that these issues can be discussed there. We have a constitutional forum. We should not rely on non-constitutional, unconstitutional measures to combat issues where constitutional forums are available. It is, the Constitution says that the CCI has to meet every 90 days और अभी तक सिर्फ 3 मीटिंग CCI की हुई है जबकि 2 साल में 8 मीटिंग्स हो जानी चाहिए थी। तो मैं आपके तवज्जुह से, इस हाउस के तवज्जुह से प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ पाकिस्तान जो कि काउंसिल ऑफ कॉमन इंटरेस्ट को हेड करते हैं उनको रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि ये आईनी जिम्मेदारी संभालें और जल्द से जल्द CCI का इजलास बुलाएं। Sir, we are committed to serving the people. We are committed to serving the country. Our loyalty to this land is beyond any doubt. Our leadership sacrificed their life for the cause of peace and for strengthening and consolidating democratic institutions. Our party is the stumbling block against exploitation, discrimination, and undemocratic norms and traditions. Sir, today was a unique day. Today was the first time in any assembly in the province of in any province of Pakistan, the National Assembly or the Senate, where, Mr. Speaker, you, because of this COVID emergency, held a session online. There are a number of members who are present online. I should have welcomed them up front, those who've joined us. I can even see Salim Baloch, who's infected by COVID. He is sitting and attending the assembly session at home. This was possible because of you, Mr. Speaker, because you thought that people who are infected, people who are vulnerable, have a right to attend the assembly session, they have a right to represent their constituents. Sir, we affirm that with the guidance and help of Allah Ta'ala and the support of people of Sindh, we will face every challenge successfully. I once again thank the Treasury and the opposition. I'm sure they'll go and listen to this speech later because they've missed a lot. The provincial government of Sindh is working tirelessly. We have successfully led this entire country. We have successfully led the PTI, the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, the other political parties, they followed us. And this was because of the guidance of Chairman Bilawal Bhutto Zardari and President Asif Ali Zardari, that we in the government of Sindh were able to take steps to protect the people of Sindh. Inshallah Ta'ala, under the guidance of our leadership, we will continue working tirelessly with the people of Sindh, and inshallah Ta'ala, the people of Sindh who always repose confidence in the Pakistan People's Party because of our hard work, inshallah Ta'ala, the people of Pakistan will see what a sane, responsible leadership can do in order to save lives. और हम कैपिटलिस्ट को उस घर में कि जी दिहाड़ीदार क्या करेंगे, डेली वेज वर्कर्स क्या करेंगे, लेकिन असल मसला हमारा इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट का था जिनकी फैक्ट्रियां बंद हो रही थी, जिनके पैसे कम हो रहे थे, उसकी वजह से उन्होंने लोगों की जानें खतरे में डाली। और इस वक्त 3000 से ज्यादा लोग, इस वक्त जब मैं बोल रहा हूँ 3000 से ज्यादा लोग अपनी जान गंवा चुके हैं। मैं आपका शुक्रगुजार हूँ स्पीकर साहब। इंशाल्लाह ताला ये जैसे भी कहे हम तहम्मुल से इनकी स्पीचेस सुनेंगे और मुझे उम्मीद है कि एटलीस्ट वाइंडिंग अप स्पीच सुन सकें, ताकि ये जो बातें रेस करेंगे उनके प्रॉपर जवाब हम दे सकें। इनमें इनके पास न रोटी है न कपड़ा है, मकान है। ये जो सारे लोग बैठे हैं, ये सारे जो बैठे हैं ना, ये पता नहीं ये दिहाड़ीदार है सारे के सारे। मैं ज़्यादा नहीं बोलता, इसलिए कि मैं ये देख रहा हूँ इस सूबे में अल्लाह ताला का शुक्र है कि एक बंदा भूख से नहीं मरा, पिछले पूरे पाकिस्तान में नहीं मरा है। ये मैं आपको बता दूं। यस, हम लोग गरीब मुल्क है, ये हमारे पास गुर्बत का इशू है। ये गुर्बत का इशू कोविड में उठाने की जरूरत थी। पहले आपको गरीबों का ख्याल क्यों नहीं आया? पहले नहीं आ रहा था। अब ये बहाना बना के और अपने एंड्स मीट कर रहे हैं। मैं एक बार फिर स्पीकर साहब और सबका शुक्रगुजार हूँ। पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद। Is expected to be about 210 billion, which is only 8% higher than is expected to be about 210 billion, which is only 8% higher than.
Okay, now the House is adjourned to meet again on Saturday, the 20th June 2020 at
is expected to be about 210 billion, which is only 8% higher than.
Okay, now the House is adjourned to meet again on Saturday, the 20th June 2020 at
is expected to be about 210 billion, which is only 8% higher than.
Okay, now the House is adjourned to meet again on Saturday, the 20th June 2020 at
is expected to be about 210 billion.